Shalom, shalom, sisters. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, which the world ignorantly calls God, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And through the Spirit, we get built up and we get edified. So, the topic tonight, I just really want to speak to my sisters that's, courting, wanting to court, and eventually getting married, to have patience in this process. Have patience, not to rush it, and just be in the Most High's perfect will, because He has a plan for your life. He has a will for you, but you have to stay in that will. He knows exactly who He has for you. He's preparing your husband now. So the best thing to do would be to begin to prepare yourself and build yourself up so that you're ready to be that virtuous and righteous woman when you get a husband. So let's just pull a precept real quick. James 1 and verse 4. It say, "But let patience have her perfect work, that she may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing." So it's very important to have patience in everything, especially in patience with courting and going through marriage or getting married, and making sure through that whole process you are proving who it is that you plan on marrying. And not just proving him, but proving yourself as well. Making sure that you're held and you're at a standard that the Bible requires the daughters of Zion to even be at to become a wife. A lot of sisters, you have to just put away that old mindset, that we had in the world, and renew your mind coming into this truth that yes, we all want to be wives, but that doesn't mean to force the course of a river. You can't force it. You can't force a marriage. You can't force courting. But what you can do is begin to work on you and better you. And all things, it all works out in perfect timing, because what we have to remember is the Most High, He is the author of this. He's in control of all of this. He is the potter. We are the clay. The Most High, He's orchestrating our lives. He's orchestrating this whole thing. So at the end of the day, we have no control over any of this, right? So don't try to force things. Just let it flow. Build your value up. How do you build your value up? Well, go to Proverbs 31. Look at what makes a woman valuable, where her value comes from, what makes her a virtuous woman, what her price is worth. And we went over these things a lot of times in the past, but you can never overdo going back to Proverbs 31 and reiterating, rereading, and keep applying those different characteristics of a righteous, virtuous woman to your life to build you up. So let's get Ecclesiastes 3 and 1. Because we have to remember, the Most High, He hasn't forgotten about you. He knows exactly where He left you. He knows exactly what He has you working on right now. He may be preparing a husband for you right now. So it's important that, you're building yourself up in the Most High, that you working on you. You working on your temple. You working on you. So let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there's a season and a time, to every purpose under the heaven. And you have to know that. You have to always know that there is a season, a purpose, and a time for everything under the heaven. So in due time, when the Most High say it's time, then you'll get a righteous husband. But in the midst of that, work on you. So let's grab a precept real quick, because that's what we have to remember. We can't forget about ourselves. We kind of went over this before with 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and 34. There's a difference between a virgin. There's between a virgin and a wife. The virgin, she care for the things on how to please the Lord, and the wife, she care for the things on how to please her husband. So sisters that's not married should be focusing on how to please the Most High, how to build yourself up in the Lord, Work on your faith, increasing your faith in the Most High, doing the things that you know you should be doing to prepare yourself to be a righteous, virtuous woman. Like if you take, for instance, an example of Leah and Rachel. They were doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing as the daughters of Zion. Leah didn't have no idea she was getting ready to get a husband. The Most High brought Jacob to her. Rachel had no idea she was getting ready to get a husband. The Most High brought Jacob to her. You see? But in the midst of that waiting process, that time period, they were doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing. They abided at home with their father. You know, they were being obedient. Rachel, she kept the sheep. Like, that's laborer's work to keep the sheep, to feed the sheep, to clean the sheep. That took a lot of work. But our foremothers is righteous examples on how we should be. Like, they were doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing. They was doing the will of the Lord. They were in his perfect will for their lives. And guess what? The Most High blessed them with a righteous husband. Another example, Salakia, another example would be Rebecca. Rebecca didn't know, she was getting ready to get, she didn't know Isaac was getting ready to take her as a wife. She had no idea, but what was she doing? She was being diligent. She was being faithful. She was being loyal. She was doing exactly what she was supposed to be doing. She was building herself up and becoming a virtuous woman. She was applying herself. She was being obedient at home to her parents. And the Most High, he blessed her. He blessed her with a righteous husband. So remember that. I'm going to read it again. Ecclesiastes 3:1, it say, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the sun. So never forget that. In this waiting time, work on you. Work on you. Build on you right now. Build on your relationship with the Most High. Build on becoming that submissive woman, that submissive wife. Build on getting those characteristics that you need to be that wife, that righteous wife for a righteous husband. So let's get Salakia. Let's get Proverbs 14:1. It says, every wise woman builds her house, but the foolish one, she plucks it down with her own hands. Now, I'm looking at this precept differently. Like, you have to remember, you are your house. Now, I normally would talk about building your house up would be building your husband up, which it is, but you got to build you up. Until you get a husband, it's time to build you up. It's time to put life into you. It's time to make sure you dedicating yourself to the Most High. It's time to get right. It's time to repent. It's time to look at things where we may have went off, things that made us not be a righteous woman, things that we may have done, and correct those things. Start to build your temple up. Start working on the fruit of the spirits. Learn how to be submissive. Learn how to be silent. Learn how to, be supportive. Learn how to be loyal. Learn how to cook. Learn how to clean. Learn what it takes to raise children, to keep the house. Learn what it takes to be a submissive woman, a shamefaced woman, a humble woman, a meek woman. That's building your house up. That's building your temple up. A wise woman, she will build her temple up, but the foolish one, she'll pluck it down with her own hands. She won't work on her. She won't work on her mind. She won't work on guarding her mind, building her mind up in the precepts. She won't work on keeping herself, And that's what you would call today a so-called modern day woman. She don't think of these things. The traditional virtuous women think of things that's pleasing to the Most High, because if you could please the Most High with how he commanded the daughters of Zion to be, which is virtuous women, then you're going to be able to please your husband when the Most High give you one. You see? So let's get another precept. Let's get Ecclesiastes 3:14. So Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 14, and it reads, it says, I know that whatsoever Yahweh doeth, it shall be forever. And see, this is going back into not forcing the course of a river. This is going back into being patient. This is going back into being in the perfect will of the Most High. Whatever his will is for your life, being patient. It says, whatsoever Yahweh doeth, it shall be forever. So that way, if you don't do it yourself, if you don't be drifted away or going off by your own understanding or your own mindset or your own heart's desire, then ultimately the Most High, he'll do it. So when you actually get in that position where you do get a righteous husband, because the Most High, he say, what God put together, let no man put asunder. That's forever. What the Most High do is forever, but what we do is not forever. It's not going to stand forever. You see that? So we have to always put our trust in the Most High and move according to his will for our lives, and not move on our emotions, not move on our own thoughts, you know, not move off feelings, not move off feeling like I'm lonely. You know, you don't move like that. We move according to the scriptures. That's wisdom. And it says, and it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor can anything be taken from it. So it's perfect. It's perfect. When the Most High do it, it's perfect and it's forever. Nothing can be added to it. Nothing can be taken from it. And Yahweh doeth it, that men should fear before him. You see that? So everything that we do, we should be trying to please the Most High in meekness and in fear of him, and making sure that we're in his perfect will for our lives. So let's get another precept. Let's get James 1:17. James chapter 1 and verse 17. It says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. You see that? Aren't you a good gift from the Most High? Aren't you a special people to him? Aren't you the daughter of Zion? Aren't you very special to him? So you have to understand, you have to know how special you are to the Most High. Know how special you are. Know your worth. Know your value. Don't just give it away. Don't just give it away. Work on you. Work on you, and you'll be that good gift that's given unto a righteous man. You don't want to be, you know, if you don't work on you and work on building up your value, then how can you be of value to a righteous man? You can't. It starts at home. You have to work on you. So let's get Sirach 26:3. I'm gonna precept that. Sirach 26:3. It says, a good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord. You see that? That's why it's so important to stay in the perfect will of the Most High, to work on you, building yourself up in the Most High, building that relationship up with the Most High, being an obedient daughter, working on the fruit of the spirits, walking in the fruit of the spirits, working on becoming that virtuous woman, getting those characteristics that our foremothers had, right? That makes you a good wife. And the Most High, he said, a good wife, let's read it again. It say, a good wife is a good portion, which shall be given to the portion of them that fear the Lord. So you're going to be given to a righteous man, sisters. So don't be uncontent of the state that you're in right now. We have to always be content, whatever state we're in. Whatever state we're in, wherever the Most High has you right now, be content there. Be content there and continue to work on you. Because in due time, when the Most High say it's time, then he'll give you that righteous husband. Don't force it though. Have patience. Let me pull another precept. Let's see. I want to get so like this, we found this precept about just being content. We have to be content. It doesn't matter whatever state. Let's see. Philippians, let's get it. Philippians 4:1. So let's pull that. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 11. I think I said 1, so I get 4 and 11. It say, not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatever state I am, therefore to be content. You see that? In whatever state, we have to be content. We can't be like uncontent and desiring or wanting or lusting for something that another sister has. Maybe another sister, maybe you feel like you're the only sister in the sister group that doesn't have a husband, that's not married yet. And these are vain reasons, and none of these are good reasons to get married, you know, and none of these are good reasons to rush courting either. Again, we're going into our value and our worth. Build your value up and build your worth up in the Most High. So I just want to go over a couple of things of we should be content in whatever state we're in, whether we're married, whether we're single, whether we're courting, whether, you know, whatever. Be content where the Most High has you, because he has a plan for your life. His thoughts to you, his thoughts towards you are not evil, to give you an expected end. He has an expected end for you, sis. That's what you got to understand. So don't be uncontent in the state that you're in. Just work on you. Take advantage and get back the time that was lost, that was taken, that was stripped from us through our own ignorance and through our own rebellion. Take that time back and now work on you. Go 10 times harder. But I do want to point out a few things. Just don't get into them vain thoughts in courting. You know, Sirach 6 and 7, you know, we have to prove a friend. We have to prove a friend. And in the midst of proving a friend, don't give your mind over to vanity and willing to just accept anything or settle because you're rushing it, because you don't have patience, because you don't want to be alone. So like it, because you want to be married right now. Well, maybe the Most High said it's not time right now. Maybe it's time in 4 months. Maybe it's time in 6 months. Maybe it's time in a year. He has that perfect plan for you. But vain reasons would be you're the only sister in the sister group chat that's not married. That's not a good reason to rush courting or to hop into a marriage. Maybe it's looks. Looks is a vanity thing, a vain reason to get married. You don't want to get married because of looks. Maybe it's because you lack self-control. That's not a good reason, because the Bible teaches us to have self-control. So that's a vain reason to get married, to lack self-control. Maybe it's for the sake of just being called someone's rib. That's not a good reason. It's not a good reason. Or to escape maybe a situation. But you have to remember, in the midst of our situations, we always got to take us with us. Remember that. So that's why it's so important to work on you. To work on you, to build your spirit up. Salakia. To work on you and to build your spirit up in the Most High. Because wherever you go, you got to take you with you. And that's just being real. And that's for all of us. Because it's popular in the truth. It's popular in the truth. I gotta be, you know, I have to get married. I have to get married. That's the popular thing. No, that's a vain reason to get married. That's not good reasons. Why? Because all your sisters are doing it. That's not a good reason, sis. We have to wait on the Lord. In the midst of all of this, in the midst of our feelings, in the midst of our emotions, in the midst of our loneliness, wait on the Lord. Stay in his perfect will for your life. Wait on him. Be content in the state that you are in, while continuing to build yourself up in him, while trusting in him, while staying in his perfect will for your life. He has a plan for you. Just don't rush it. Have patience, sis. So let's get Proverbs 3, 5 through 6. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 through 6, it says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not into thy own understanding, but acknowledge him in all your ways, and he shall direct your path. That's so important. We got to trust in the Most High with all our heart, and lean not into our own understanding. Don't think just, because I think if I do it this way, this will be good. If I do it that way, that sounds like a better idea. No, lean not into your own understanding. Acknowledge the Most High in everything, and he will direct your path. The Most High, he'll keep you. He'll keep you if you trust in him. with everything that you do, pray about it. Pray without ceasing. Whatever it is. So let's get another precept. I want to get, let's see. Counsel. It's very important to have counsel. You know, we have to have counsel. And I just want to pull some precepts to show sisters how important it is to have righteous counsel. Righteous counsel that's been proved, you know, that's righteous for you. Sound counsel. Because you don't want to do things. You don't want to just do things based off, when we just read that, your own understanding. Because it'll bring disappointment to you because you thought that you were doing the right thing, to find out it wasn't the right thing. You didn't get counsel. You didn't pray about it. You didn't wait on the Most High. You didn't have patience, right? So we have to have patience with everything. We have to pray about everything. And do nothing without counsel, because you don't want to regret it after you do something. And that's with everything, not just courting or marriage, everything, every aspect in our lives. So let's get let's say Sirach 32 and verse 19. Let's get that. Sirach 32 verse 19, it say, do nothing without advice. And when thou hast once Salaki, and when thou hast once done, repent not. So do nothing without advice, and once thou hast once done, repent not. That means don't regret it. Once you've done it, don't regret it now. That's why you want to seek sound counsel, righteous counsel, sisters. Don't be so hasty to make decisions on your own without sound counsel. So let's get another precept. Let's get let's get Proverbs 15 and 22. Proverbs 15 verse 22. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed. See, and that's kind of what I was just going into, making haste, making decisions, and then it leads to disappointment because all you had to do was seek counsel. All you had to do was ask questions and not lean into your own understanding, which will bring disappointments. So let's read it again. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed, but in the multitude of counselors, they are established. So that's important. Get a righteous sister that you agree with. You're like-minded, that's giving you sound counsels according to the scriptures, not according to her thoughts or according to your thoughts. Lean not into our own understanding, but acknowledge the Most High. So according to the words of the Most High, get sound counsel, and don't be so hasty to do things. You know, don't step outside the will of the Most High, because that's when we begin to go through things, unnecessary things that we didn't have to go through if we just have patience and wait on the Lord. So let's get another precept. I'm gonna pull one more precept on counsel. Let's get let's get Sirach 37 and 11. And this kind of going into, you know, making sure that where you're getting your counsel, you're proving it. Make sure it's sound counsel. Make sure it's a sister you're like-minded with that's not just giving you counsel just to give it to you and she's giving bad counsel. So you want to prove it. So Sirach 37 and 11. And it says, I'm going to start at verse 10 and say, consult not with one that suspected thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. So you don't want to share things about you that's important, that's near and dear to one that you suspect that may be envious of you, or a sister that may be jealous of you. You're not going to get sound counsel from that sister. You want to make sure you've proved that sister that you are like-minded, because courting and marriage is serious. So you want to make sure you're getting good counsel on that topic. Let's keep going. Verse 11 and say, neither consult with a woman touching of her of whom she is jealous. That's kind of going into the same thing. You don't want counsel from a sister that may be envious of you or jealous of you. You want actual sound, righteous counsel that matches up with the words of the Most High. Okay? All right, so let's keep going. Let's get on. Sirach 37 and 15. verse 15. Matter of fact, let's get 14. For a man's mind is sometimes wants to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. You know, just all these different thoughts is coming up. All these different things. You know, you don't want so many different being double-minded, having all these different thoughts, you know. You think this, and then you think that, and then you think this. No. Verse 15, it say, and above all this, pray to the Most High, that he will direct thy way in truth. Above all of that, pray to the Most High that he will direct thy way in truth. Because he will. If you trust in the Most High and you lean out into your own understanding, if you have patience and you pray about everything in your whole life, but specifically we're talking about not rushing courting, you know, which goes into marriage, pray about it. And wait and have patience. Wait on the Lord. Wait to get an answer. Wait to see what the Most High wants you to do. And in the midst of all of that, build yourself up. You are special. You are special, and never let nobody tell you that you're not. Build yourself up in the Most High. Build up your value. Build up your characteristics. Start to begin to master that woman in Titus 2. Start to begin to master that woman in Proverbs 31. These are the things, as the daughters of Zion and we're coming back, these are the things that we should be mastering. These are the things. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to pull it for edification. Titus chapter 2 and verse 3. Let me grab it. Titus chapter 2 verse 3. It says, in an aged woman likewise, that they be in good behavior, becoming holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the younger women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, to be chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of Yahweh be not blasphemed. So that's what we should be working on, sisters. That's enough to work on in preparing yourself for marriage. That's enough to work on. You know, make sure you're that woman that can meet, you know, your husband, whoever you're courting, needs. Make sure you have the qualities. Make sure you're bringing those qualities. You know, aside from intimacy, you should have all these qualities. We should, and that's where we have to work on us, building it up. And it takes time. Have patience. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. And I'm going to pull that precept, for it's not the course of a river, in Sirach, just for edification. Let's get it. Sirach 32 and verse 19. Nope, Salakia. That's, I think I just brought that out. Let me find it real quick. For it's not the course of a river. I thought I had it wrote down. Maybe not, but sisters, the point is, don't force it. Just wait on the Most High. He got it all figured out for you. He has a plan. And let me grab a couple precepts about that. Let's get Isaiah 64 and 8 real quick, because we gotta understand, man's going is of the Lord. You know, we don't, it's not in us to know our own ways. We don't know our ways. The Most High, he put it in us. We don't know. That's why man's going is of the Lord. How then can a man understand his own ways? We can't. So let's get Isaiah 64 and 8. Real quick, just to reiterate, you know, the Most High, he's in control. Isaiah Salakia 64 and verse 8. It say, but now, O Lord, thou art our Father. We are the clay, and thou our potter, and we will all are the work of thy hands. Salakia, let me read that again. It say, but now, O Lord, thou art our Father. We are the clay, and thou our potter, and we will all are the work of thy hands. You see that? So the Most High, He's molding us. He's orchestrating this. He's directing our paths. He's allowing us to speak the words that we speak. Man's going is of the Lord. Let me pull that real quick in Proverbs 16:1 or 20. Proverbs 20:24. Let me grab it. Proverbs 20 and verse 24, it says, man's going is of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own ways? How can we understand our own ways? We can't. It's the Most High that's doing it. Ultimately, sisters, right? And I'm going to precept it one more time in Jeremiah 10:23. Jeremiah chapter 20 verse 23, and it say, O Lord, I know that the way of a man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. So it's not in us. The Most High is doing this whole thing. Bottom line is, we have to be patient. We have to wait. And you have to know that you are worth waiting for. You have to know that you are worth waiting for. You are a daughter of Zion. You're very special to the Most High. Build yourself back up. Build yourself back up in the Lord. And I want to get that account in Genesis, how when Jacob came to his wife, Rachel, he waited on her. He worked 7 years, got deceived with Leah, and then worked another 7 years to get Rachel. You see what I'm saying? So it's nothing wrong with waiting for that intimacy part. And a lot of sisters is going wrong because they're doing it way too quick before they're proven who they're doing it with. You see that? So have more value and worth for yourself and wait. If any sisters read the account of Esther, when the king said bring forth the virgins, and he gave Esther her oils and stuff that she needed, why? She needed to purify herself for 12 months. She purified herself for 12 months. You see that? 12 months she prepared and got herself together to get herself ready. So stop rushing the physical part so quickly and prove it. Prove it. See if it be of the Most High, because we already read what the Most High put together, let no man put asunder. If it's meant to be, then it's not going to fall apart 2 months later. Or you're not going to be put away 2 months later. You see that? So it's important to just wait on the Most High, be in His perfect will, and trust that, sisters. So, I think that's all I have. I hope that this was edifying. I hope it builds sisters up. I hope it causes you to just kind of evaluate, check out some things that you may be doing in your courting process. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it up against the word of the Most High. Prove it up against the word of the Most High. Hey, and let the Most High will be done. So, until next time, shalom, sisters.